Hello and welcome. My guest today needs no introduction. She is the chairman of the Murty Foundation. She's an author and she's a Rajya Sabha MP. Mrs. Sudha Murty, thank you so much for speaking to us and welcome to DeKoder.
Namaste.
More than anything else, congratulations on your 50th book. My God, I mean, how many are you writing in a year?
I write one per year. It's almost like in 50 years, 50 books kind.
Wow.
47 years, 50.
That must be a record of some sorts.
No, I don't think so. People don't write more, but I can write only one book per year.
That's a lot. Okay, so this is Nooni, continuing her adventures. I mean, she's someone everyone knows. But this time, it's something that's been inspired by the former British Prime Minister, your son-in-law, Rishi Sunak's parents. Would you like to tell us a little more about that?
Yeah. Rishi's parents, Yashvir and Usha Sunak, I know their story, and whenever they tell, it's amazing, I feel. Their parents came from today's Pakistan, and they were from Gujranwala and Abotamad. And they went to not South Africa. They went to Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and Uganda, respectively. So they had a very good business in Lahore. In Gujranwala, they had a big house, and there were several centuries Punjabis settled there. They leave everything, and from there they come to Africa continent, and Uganda and Tanzania. They go with nothing to their hand. Desire to work hard, hope will do better, and there they establish again. They get married, and they set up a house. Do their, they went into service, they did very well, children were born, and when children were 10 or 12 years old, that time, again, second time, they have to leave everything and come to England with minimum things, or almost there. So once they lost in Abbottabad, second time they lost in Africa, and they come to England, stayed in the townhouses, and they were teenagers. Children were teenagers, and parents started working from the scratch again. And later, Rishi's father, Yashvir Sunak, became a doctor. Usha did pharmacy and set up a medical shop or pharmacy. And they built everything from the scratch again. Rishi was born, and the siblings were born. So they have seen in their 3 generations, they have lost houses. At least 2 generations twice. And his grandfather generation, twice they lost. So I always used to ask them, tell me what you feel when you go to a country which is not yours, language is not yours, culture is not yours, and you're forced to go. It is not that you wanted to go, but forced to go to survive. And what is that keeps you happy, successful, and engaging the local activity, part of their culture. They will get into that and become UK citizens and participating in all activities, becoming Britishers. So tell me, what is that keeps you, and what is that made you like this? Is it follow ethics? Both of them said. Number 1, resilience. Resilience when you are reduced to ashes. Okay, again like phoenix, I will come up. Second thing, hard work. There is no substitute to hard work. Number 3, get into that culture wherever you are and become part of that country. Like they said, when we were in Dar es Salaam, I knew the Swahili language. I went to the local school where Swahili was taught. And, I had Swahili friends. I became one of the Dar es Salaam girls, that's Usha told me. So it's in Uganda. And then they came to England when they were teenagers. They learned English. They became part of that society. And of course, Rishi's time, he was born and raised there. It was not difficult. So this one actually made me to think, look at our lives, okay, particularly in South India. I was born in Karnataka, married to a man from Karnataka, lived in Karnataka. All my relatives are around Bengaluru, Hubli, that side only. We speak the same language. What our parents ate, we eat the same thing. Little bit of different, but by and large same. So we have been in this culture for centuries together. And we do not know what it is to live. Sometimes I feel if I have to leave Karnataka and settle, what do I feel? For some time you may enjoy, but leaving your roots and coming out, what do I feel? And it's a great distress, okay? As age advances, distress is more. When you are young, it is fine. So that made me to write about a beautiful line. Somebody who doesn't know India, who is in London, has never visited in India, takes a pencil with whatever information he has. In those days there was no Wikipedia, draws a line and says, this is Pakistan, this is India. But people who lived in both countries, centuries together, learned the same habit, food habits, living in the same society. Overnight they became foreigners to the land they are born. What a distress it could be. They have to leave everything and cross the border. And that touched my heart. So I thought next generation should know what it means a human immigration, the forced immigration, which happened in 20th century.
Right. So, you know, from everything that you've told me, actually there are three things I want to ask you. I'll take them one by one. One is that you write, I believe that understanding our history is essential because without knowing our history, we cannot truly understand who we are and where we are going. And so I wanted to ask you, ma'am, that, you know, nowadays there is so much of our own history that's being rewritten, whether it is in textbooks or sort of, you know, certain periods being completely erased, whether, you know, the whole Mughal period, the way it's being tackled. Speak to us about that. And do you think that is harming what our future generations will know?
Actually, I look in a different angle. You ask any person of my generation, you tell Indian history, they will talk only certain part of the Indian history, okay? But there are many, many dynasties ruled our country. Like nobody talks about Peshwa and they went up to Afghanistan. Nobody talks about Raja Rajendra Chola and his son Raja Chola and Rajendra Chola. They went up to what you call Singapore today, Java, Indonesia, Malaya. We don't talk about them. Talk about Vijayanagar Empire. How many of our generation or even your generation know the history of the South, history of the East, Om generation, Om kingdom of the Assam? They ruled 650 years. So India is not just a piece of land. It has many states and each state has a history. And so many kings, queens, they have contributed to keep this land alive with their culture. So I consider it is important to know many more kings other than a very set of a few kings, because children should grow up with knowing everything and let them decide what they want. But people are unaware of the 80% of the history which is in the south, it is in the west. Raja Adruddhamana, we talk about him. How many people know Raja Adruddhamana in Girnar?
So we should add but not delete, right?
No, you should. History is not one page in our country. In other country, it will be continuous, maybe a smaller history. Like England, a place like England, the history of England is England, a small land. Whereas in our country, there are so many states, so much history is there. So this is my firm belief is that history should be taught neutrally and to all four directions of our country, which is going to be a big one. Then everybody gets their small share in that.
Got it.
Yeah.
This I have to ask you, I know it's only about, but you do say, I hope our young people learn the importance of hard work, courage and resilience. Mr. Murty spoke about 70 hours work day. Are you also for that?
I always believe that if you want to be successful, you have to work very hard. Actually,
look at our doctors, look at journalists like you
Right.
people. How many hours do you work? You work 90 hours a week, okay? More than that. But, I always believe you can always balance if you have a good understanding, and I have done that.
So the book is quite a discovery of India. There is Ujjain, there is Amritsar, there is Delhi. So
There's England.
And there's England, of course. But so much of it that you've spent also on, India and sort of, was it, when you were writing it, was it a lot about trying to get Indian people or youngsters in India interested in India and discovering India?
No, nothing of that sort.
Okay.
I've seen all these places.
Right.
And whenever I write, I like to describe that place in such a way that if somebody reads, they should become curious and they should go and see that place. For example, if I say Ujjain, how much you or any viewer will understand? They won't understand. It's a part of Madhya Pradesh, they think. But it is a fantastic background of history, starting with Kalidasa even before that. And it was the second capital of the Gupta dynasty. It was a place where so many plays were written. For me, Ujjain holds one of the most important place in Indian culture and history and literature. So I wanted every place has its own speciality, and that I wanted to introduce my viewers.
So tell me this, again, you said at one point, Ajja tells Nooni, he says, I feel India has changed a lot. Our youngsters are more confident than ever. Many countries now know about India. So do you want to sort of tell us a little more about where that kind of... Yeah.
I had one of my article I have written in 1979. I went to
US first time, it's almost 46 years back. And when I got down in US Boston airport, when I was getting visa, there were so many queries. Show me your return ticket. How much money you have? Are you sure you're going back? Show me your employment letter. That means as if I will not go back. Second thing, they also asked about
in custom that, curious.
Officer asked me, how do you wear this long, piece of cloth? And do you have an elephant in your house? And do the serpents come on the road? They had a peculiar way of looking at India. India is the land of magic. Princesses, elephants, serpents, and cattle. And they did not know anything about India, which is my real first-hand information. And later, after many years, after 30, 40 years, I think, I was in Miami airport. From Columbia, I came to deliver a lecture at Stanford. So I gave my visa, my passport, and he said, oh, you are an Indian. Then he was a little talkative officer. He told me, we really respect Indians. You know why? Because they are good, they are taxpayers, they don't cause any legal problem, they are not in any territory radar, they assimilate in the local US cities with them, and we have a lot of Indian restaurants. And he also went to a Bollywood dance. Then he asked me, how many days visa you want? I said, only for a week. I came here only to deliver a lecture. He said, no, you must get 3 months. It's a great country. America is a great country. You can see all around. And this is my own life. I have seen these two changes. Okay, why it has happened? Why it has happened? It is not because of the, we advertise anything. People in India did well. Okay, Indians who went abroad also did well. So we were called as like gentleman people. We never did anything anti-country activities. And people in India, many people started their own entrepreneurship, exported, and Bollywood had its own share of beautiful music. I have gone to so many countries where they cannot speak English. I went to Cuba. And I went to buy something, And that lady looked at me and said, Madhuri Dixit, 1, 2, 3 or something. Ek, do, teen, that she said 1, 2, 3. Then I went to Iran and I can't speak Persian. And they looked at me and they said, Amitabh Bachchan, So Bollywood, and that in Switzerland there is a statue of Salman Khan and Kajal. And now recently in Leicester Square they released. Bollywood has its own contribution. So Indians, and with more education, more opportunities, Indians have become much more confident. I have, because I used to teach in the university, I have seen my students and my student days, there's a sea apart. My student days were always worried what others will think. Today they are assertive, they are more confident. And that I feel India has its own problem. No, every country has its own problem. But by and large, youngsters are more confident. And that makes me very happy.
So you also take Nooni to London in this book.
Nooni is a real character, by the way.
Oh.
Nooni is my granddaughter. Her name is Anushka.
Okay.
We call her Nooni. So this is one of the Nooni series. I have 3 books in Nooni series. The first one is Magic of the Lost Temple, where I introduce children archaeology. Because people should not think archaeology means something old temple or old monument. It's much more than that.
Right.
So in the form of a story I did. Second, the Magic of the Lost Story. I talked about the importance of a river. Okay, that is the Magic of the Lost Story. And this is a partition. I introduce children in a softer way. The agony of Pakistan, partition, and one should not do that. Right. History teaches us what mistake we did, and we should not repeat that. It is a lesson to us that what our ancestors did, we should not do that.
Right. So, no, I wanted to go back to London, and, it is where your daughter is now staying, and, your son-in-law. Are there any favorite places of theirs that they took you to when they took you around London? Is there some favorite places that...
They don't have to take, I go on my own. I love to go to Kew Garden, that I enjoy every time I visit different seasons. Then I love to go to British Museum, Victoria and Albert Museum. I enjoy going there to museum. There are many, many museums. Once in a while I go to Greenwich Village, but I went to see the origin of the Thames River. Okay, I don't require anyone to take me because that language we can speak. There are good trains and buses, and I have good friends, so I do that. And they are youngsters, they are very busy with their children, their activities. But still they take me because they have a village house. I do go there.
Right.
And it is very enchanting, and probably the air quality is 0, I suppose.
There you said it. There's no pollution.
There is no
On that note, thank you so much. I hope a lot of children read The Magic of the Lost Earrings. Thank you so much, Mrs. Murty, for this interview. Thank you. Thank you.